what's good, yo? Welcome to my review for episode 6 of Dragon Ball Daima. First of all, man, I gotta say, this was a phenomenal episode, man. Easily, probably my favorite episode of Daima so far, I would say. This was just an incredible episode. Although, if you guys have obviously seen what has happened in the latest episode to release over in the sub, that probably is not going to keep. It's probably not going to keep that title for long, along with, of course, Vegeta as episode as well when we get to there as well. So, yeah. And you mentioned that episode will get a reaction, guys. You will get a reaction for that episode. Yeah. So anyway, guys, this episode's fantastic, man. I love the comedy here with the mini ta-ta, 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 mini ta-ta. Do you know what is a minotaur? Shout out to Buskers, man. That song's a classic. Honestly, all of the Buskers' songs are classics, man. Oh, that man just could not miss, man. He was just dropping banger after banger. Very nostalgic. Anyway, guys, but yeah, had to get the obligatory Tobuscus reference out of there, man, with the Minotaur appearing. Mini ta-ta. Anyway, guys, so yeah, the animation this was phenomenal, man. We'll obviously talk more when we get to the actual fight between Glorio and Goku, man. But this was just a phenomenal episode from start to finish, man. Anyway, guys, enough of me rambling. Let's just jump right into the actual episode. So we start the episode off right where we left off last, with the engine crapping out on them and on the plane as they're about to crash land. Once they eventually crash land, they have the Supreme Kai asks Pansy what the hell they even brought on board. She brings on about like, oh, we have all these supplies, first aid kit, a repair kit, camping equipment, this and third. Oh, well, they're showing us panning shots of the trunk of the plane, and you and I can tell for a fact she brought way more than those supplies. I bet she brought her entire room with her. But like, we see stuffed animals in there, a shit ton of various bags. She definitely had a shit ton of her own shit in there, and more than the initial supplies that the king of the third demon world brought with them. And she says that they can dump half of it. She goes in there, grabs her toolkit out there, and tries to see if he can fix the engine. While Goku, before we get to Goku having to take number 2, she asked Pansy asked him about Goku calling him the Supreme Kai, and Goku explained that there's different Kais out there. They rule that they're like kind of like the rulers of the various of their universe, and there's multiple of them. He's met multiple of them, and like the leader of them all is the Supreme Kai, which of course is Supreme Kai. She also wonders about like, oh, maybe we're going out for the demon world, it worked out for you guys. How's the money? Because she thinks that these guys get rich from these, like, and he says it's not about the money. She's like, what the hell is even the fucking point? So then Goku talks to Glorio, or as he calls him, Giorgio. That doesn't even sound close to Glorio. Where do you get Giorgio? And like, even if I like Glorio, at this point even I'm starting to get annoyed. I'm starting to wonder, and he asks Goku, "You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?" Yeah, like, because honestly, I'm even starting to think that he has been doing this shit. But like, listen, I'm shit with names. You guys know me. Like, there have been various times where in the middle of recording, and I have to like stop for a second, have to stop the recording, or just let there be a long pause there while I'm looking up the character's name to be because I forgot. So I am guilty of this as well, but Jesus Christ, bro, like, not like this, bro. And Goku tells her he swear he's not doing it on purpose, man, which, knowing Goku, he's telling the truth, man. The dude's just a dumbass. And then he like starts to like enunciate his name, Glorio, say it right, and then he says Glorio, which is honestly the closest he's ever gotten to his real name, which he instantly pisses away the next time he says it near like the end of the second half of the episode. But you know, we're getting there. So after all that there, Goku then mentions that he has to take a shit. And Pansy starts yelling at him like, we were just why did you go in the castle? We were just there. He's like, well, I didn't have to go then, but I gotta go now. Honestly, we've all been in that situation where we're like going somewhere, and then just when we leave, we have to take a shit when we didn't need to take a shit, the place you could have taken a shit at. We've all been there once in our lives, to be fair. And so he says, hey, we got some TP, right? And then she literally just like chucks the toilet paper right in his face. Like, I don't know why she was so pissed. Like, this is the first time later on in the episode when he has to take a shit again, she chucks it at him again. I'm like, damn, well, why you always gotta just chuck the toilet paper at him like that? But anyway, he finds a bush and takes care of his business. As one of King Gomon's ships come there from like his military force or whatever, comes down there to investigate and interrogate the three of them. while Goku's busy taking a shit. So the guards start interrogating them, asking what they're doing here. Glorio, and they ask them where they're from. Glorio, he says he's from the first demon world. Supreme Kai says he's from the second, of course. Pansy, well, she doesn't say anything, but they're like, "Where's your collar?" Then she like takes her scarf off, revealing her collar that she has in their cops to confirm that she's from the third demon world. So they ask what they're doing here, and Supreme Kai says that they're travelers coming to the first demon world, that she's their guide, and they're like, "What are you doing here? You came here on vacation to the third demon world?" And then he says, "We're thrill seekers." So then they drop that, but then he starts asking Glorio if they've ever seen a guy with spiky hair and a red pole, obviously referring to Goku. He almost instantly says nope, and he says, "Well, if you find him, the bounty is like 10 gold coins." And I was also expecting this is when Goku would finish his shit and then come out, to come out of the bush, so they see him, and then everything goes tits up. But surprisingly, no. Goku waits until after they've already left. That was only going in my head when I was like, "Watch, this is when Goku shows up then to ruin it all. We get he has to fight them." But no, it took him a little bit longer. And actually, Pansy says, "Well, you picked a good time to go take a shit." Well, she didn't say all that, but Anyway, so then they fly. So then they fly off. We get some more lore about the Supreme Kais, which I'm pretty sure all of this is new stuff. None of this was mentioned in Z, with the Glens and how the Supreme Kai, how they're born from trees, and that the Supreme Kai, the tree the Supreme Kai is born from, they only birth a new baby every I think it's like 2 centuries or something. There's very long gaps between each of the Supreme Kais being born. Goku asks if that means that they're actually plants. He doesn't know, which I think is also a fair question. Are the Supreme Kais technically plants because they come from trees? And this is something I didn't even notice. Goku mentions that the Supreme Kai drinks liquids, but he doesn't actually eat any food. So he continues on going, and we find out that Degasu is actually the Supreme Kai's a younger brother, and Pansy asks why he didn't leave with the rest of the Glens, why he stayed in the Demon World. He mentions that he's been very ambitious, and that he's never really seen eye to eye with the Glens. And then we also find out that he actually does have a sit that Arnesu is indeed his sister, or rather his sibling, because we found the Supreme Kai says that the Supreme Kais don't have gender in the way that we think of it, so I guess you can say the Supreme Kais are non-binary, I guess, which honestly I'm surprised there were people going "What? Non-binary? Dragon Ball's gone woke!" I didn't see any of that shit on my feed when this episode initially dropped. People just going off a lot, losing a lot, or maybe they're like, that tracks that you come from plants. Whatever the case may be, or maybe just something that people are watching Daima. Anyway, whatever the case may be, there's that. Even though she has boobs and looks like a woman, sure, she's not technically a woman, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Whatever you say, bro. So anyway, and I also really like the shot they used of Ernesto with the purple and the red and the purple and the bluish color hue they used for her shot right there, man. Looks amazing, man. I love this shot that they have right here. So they continue on traveling. They eventually, the sun starts to set down. Pansy asks if he wants her to take over flying the plane. He says he's good, and they're going to land and set up camp. And Pansy says, "Oh, you see a hospital near, a hotel nearby," and then he says that we're just going to set up camp, in a cave. So she's like, "Ew, I won't be able to get a shower." Goku mentions "Oh yeah, I get my showers all the time," with this massive smile on his face. She's like, "Ew, I don't want to smell like you." So they set up camp in the cave. They eat their canned food, which is actually which I'm assuming Goku and the Supreme Kai are eating the same thing. They're eating centipede. Or at least Goku eats centipede. I don't know if Supreme Kai actually eats it. Though we see Goku seemed like he went through their entire supply of food. Because Jesus Christ, there's so many plates and cans everywhere, man. Damn, bro, do you not know the definition of the word restraint? or conserve, or fucking ration. Anyway, so Pansy starts asking him about where Glorio comes from, if he actually does come from the first demon world. He mentions that he has that he's met someone in a high place and he's able to live in the first demon world. But she still keeps pressing him, asking who is this guy in a high place? He says, "Does it really matter?" She's like, "Oh, come on, don't be such a sad boy. It's ruined your pretty face." So then we get slap times, and by this point everyone is sleeping except Glorio, where we find out that he is actually in cahoots with Arnesto. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Glorio is working for this woman. Where is this gonna lead? Are we gonna see him betraying Goku later on? We'll have to wait and see, because Supreme Kai mentioned that she's like a mad scientist and everything, man. She's definitely very cunning. So I'm curious to see where this is gonna lead now that we know Gloria was working for the enemy, I guess you could say. And also, the story, I have to say, the lighting and the coloring in this episode was phenomenal whenever Ernesto was on screen and we see Supreme Kai. Because this shot right here where she's like looking out this window, both half her face is covered in shadow, the rest is like coming out of this purple and reddish blue lights coming in there. It looks stunning, man. I love this shot. You might see it, it's probably gonna be on the thumbnail if I'm being honest. And as he's coming back, back to his sleep bag, we can see the Supreme Kai open one of his eyes, so. Maybe you heard the entire conversation? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z! I do think. But anyway, they eventually wake up to the Minotaur coming in there, man. I would do the joke, and I already did the reference, the Tobias reference, so I'm not going to do it here. It's well with the Minotaur, there you go. Anyway, so he shows up, man. He's ready to fuck shit. He's ready to eat them for breakfast, man. And then Goku comes in here, man. He's like, oh, that's disappointing. Cows aren't scary. He goes all about how he's not a cow. Do cows where you come from walk on their hind legs and eat you? He says like that he's a Minotaur. He says the name's clear. Like, oh, well, thank you. And then we get this like random shot of him just thinking before he's like, wait a minute, I didn't ask my breakfast for its opinion. This scene cracked me up, man. This scene was hilarious. And so Glorio, he's ready to throw down with the Minotaur. He's like, let's take it outside. The dude's like, what the hell are you talking about? And then Goku chimes in, like, actually, let me do it real quick. And he's like, you really think you're stronger than me? And then Goku's like, I don't mean to brag, but I'm kind of, but I am. But I think I am. So now Glorio and Goku are finally outside while you have Supreme Kai, Pansy, and the Minotaur just sitting in the cave watching them fight. And the Minotaur's like, I'm still here. This Minotaur section absolutely cracked me up, and this was like this is probably my favorite part of the episode, man. Besides, obviously, the fight itself between Goku and Gloria, which was phenomenal, man. The animation here was superb, spectacular. Especially the effects animation. Toei, I am convinced now that Toei, it's made very apparent to me by now from the few clips of One Piece, of recent fights of One Piece I've seen, because you guys know I don't watch One Piece, but I've also seen some of the clips from some of the more batshit insane cuts that it's gotten recently, is that, and that continues on for Daima as well. They got some really talented effects animators over there, man. I don't know if there's any like cross promotion with the teams, man, since One Piece, I think the anime for One Piece is still on hiatus, I think. I'm not sure if it still is or not, or if it's back airing. But I'm pretty sure it was still under hiatus while Daima was in production, at least in these earlier episodes. That I wonder if they like maybe had some of the effects animators, or some of the animators that work on One Piece also work on Daima while they were waiting for One Piece to start back up or something, or if they're two completely separate teams. Whatever the case may be, they got some talented effects animators, man. Really, the animation here was phenomenal, man, as they charge right toward. We get this really nice cut where they're going out, where they're like really like closing on, which the art style for here, this is at like 15:30, this is like at 15:30, but yes, I'm getting into time codes now. 15:33 in the episode. The art style looks different. It kind of reminds me of Broly style, which makes it kind of more of like the animator that worked on this also worked on the Broly, because the art style kind of reminded me of the look of the Broly movie. And at this part of the fight, Goku's fighting with one arm behind his back because he thinks that's gonna make it more of a fair fight. And this is where he's okay, hold on, I'm actually gonna have to use both arms. And then he puts his wand to the sky, acknowledging his tribal chief. Where in XML he's like preparing his like finger, is like, I was actually remember, it's like, oh shit, he got the finger blast attack like Frieza, the finger blast that Frieza's got. I thought he was gonna get, but no, we actually see his magic, which is literally just Ki. This is when we see him use these attachments, it's literally just Ki, man. It's literally just Ki. Where his thing seems to be lightning, man, and it looks amazing as he charges up and fires at that Goku, man. Goku man's to dodge, and Supreme Kai tells him, hey, to stop holding back so much, and he wants to see how strong Gloria really is. This is when he brings out the power pole and charges towards Glorio. He fires off his force of lightning. Goku manages to dodge it as he then hits him in the stomach with the power pole and sends him flying into a rock. Glorio is able to like use his magic to create a whip thing that gets the power pole out of his hand. So now it's just simple hand-to-hand combat. Goku charges up to go into Super Saiyan. I was about to come in here and say, like, this is the first time Stephanie has gone Super Saiyan, but then I realized, oh yeah, GT's a thing, and Goku did go Super Saiyan in GT when he was in his kid form, so this is the first time she has gone Super Saiyan, although it's the first time in many, many years she has gone Super Saiyan. But either way, she sounded great, man, here. As Glorio charges up his final attack, which, look, I really like the animation. Once again, the effects work here, man, was phenomenal, man, I have to say. And I love this cut right here. This might be my favorite cut of the episode where we see the lightning charging, going right towards Goku. We get this real nice look, which I think they might have actually switched Goku's hand to CG here. I think. I could be wrong though, but it did look like his hand might have been switched to CG for this one shot. Where right before they collide, he just blocks it and stops it dead in his track. But that cut right there, man, looked amazing. Glorio's, of course, absolutely flabbergasted that Goku was able to stop his attack. He then does instant transmission to get behind him, puts his hand behind his back, saying like, hey, let's finish this. And he says, yeah, we're done. I give up. And at this point in the episode, man, after that fight going on, the Minotaur doesn't want none of that smoke. He tries to hide back into the cave. They manage to catch him. He makes all this bullshit excuse how he's actually still full from his previous meal, even though his stomach is grumbling. And he just runs away, man. Like I said, this Minotaur stuff was hilarious. This was easily my favorite part of the episode outside of this fight. Anyway, we end the episode off with going back over to Earth Universe 7, where we see Bulma is finishing up the repairs on the spaceship, man. It's ready to go, so Kibito, Vegeta, and Piccolo all get into the spaceship net and are about to fly off, and then it crashes. So, yeah, they're not leaving just yet. And that is where the episode ends, ladies and gentlemen. Phenomenal episode, man. Like I said, this is easily my favorite episode of Daima so far, although it's not going to keep that title for very long with some of the future episodes that we have coming up. But anyway, guys, overall, I give this episode a 9.5 out of 10, guys. So if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, follow my social if you feel like it, links are below, and it's always come back for more. See you guys next time.